Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We got the second game of this three-game series between the Cubs and the Reds. And leading off for the Chicago Cubs, playing first base Phil Cavarretta. Batting second playing right field is Rig Stevens. Batting third playing left field Hank Wilson. Batting fifth playing center field Kiki Kyler. Batting fifth on the catching Johnny Kling. Batting sixth playing shortstops Ernie Banks. Batting seventh, playing third base, Woody English. Batting eighth, playing second base, Johnny Evers. And on the mound, batting ninth is Ed REULBACH doing the pitching. And for the hometown Cincinnati Reds, leading it all, playing center field, Ed Rush. Batting second, playing third base, Eddie Casco. Batting third, playing first base, Ted Kowinski. Batting fourth, playing right field, Wally Post. Batting fifth, playing left field, Frank Robinson. Batting sixth, playing doing the catching, Eddie Bailey. Batting seventh, playing second base, Lonnie Fry. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Roy McMillan. And on the mound, batting ninth and doing the pitching is Buck Walters. Let's get down here to Cincinnati, Ohio, and get this game going. And leading off for the Cubs is Phil Cavarretta, batting .268, no homers and 4 RBIs. Bucky Waters is going to be on the mound for the Reds, his third start. He's 1-0, and he's leading the National League with a 0.56 ERA. The Cubs enter this game, they're 6-5. They've scored 52 runs on 18 homers, no stolen bases, and haven't been caught. The Reds are 6-5, also scored 49 runs on 13 homers, no stolen bases, and haven't been caught. Here's the pitch to Cavarretta, and that's going to be launched into the air here in Cincinnati. And that ball is high. How far is that one going to go? That ball is out of here. Kiss it goodbye. Leadoff home run by Phil Cavarretta out there in right field. And just like that, the Cubs got the 1-0 lead. That brings up Rig Stevens. Riggs is batting .341, 4 homers and 9 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to McMillan at short. So he gets the first out after the home run. And up to the plate now is Hank Wilson. Wilson batting .178, 4 homers and 14 RBIs. And that's going to be a 20. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Ed's got that for out number 2. And Kiki Kyler's up now. And Kiki is batting .178, no homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. And that's going to be a nice catch out there by Frank Robinson. That'll end the inning. But Phil Cavarretta starts this game off with a home run. The Cubs won. Reds coming to bat with Roush, Casco, and Kozlowski due up here. Ed is batting .375 with a homer and 10 RBIs. Ed, battle of the Eds here. REULBACH is 3 starts. He's 0-2 with a 4.91 ERA. Here's the pitch from Ed, and that's going to be a ground ball down the field at first. He takes it to himself, touches the bag for out number 1. And now you got the other Ed, Eddie Casco, up. He's batting .158, 1 homer and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the banks over to first for out number 2. It's up the big clue here to keep this inning alive for the Reds. He's batting .296 with a homer and 1 RBI. And we lose a dice here for the first time today. that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Woody English is up with it. No, he's not. That's going to be a walk. Ed's got the W, so he walks him. Base on balls for Ted. He trots on down the first with 2 outs here for Wally Post. And Wally Post, he's batting a $143. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. And that'll end the inning. 1 left on here for the Reds. We get to the top of the second. It's 1-0 Chicago. You got Kling, Banks, and English due up here. Johnny is batting .310. He's got a homer and 2 RBIs. They got 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that's going to be an E5 on Eddie. So the leadoff batter's aboard with an error. Brings up Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. And Banks is batting .136, 3 homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, a big strikeout there. He gets Banks for out number 1. Brings up Woody English now. And English is batting .179. He's got 2 homers and 3 RBIs. And that's a tailor-made double play ball. The ball is hit down the second. And Fry's up with it. He throws over to McMillan, over to Ted. 4-6-3 double play. Gets the Reds out of that. We go to the bottom of the second. It's still a 1-run game. We got Robinson, Bailey, and Fry due up here. And Frank is batting .333 with 4 homers and 6 RBIs as Ken Castro joins us. Yeah, more baseball, more fun is right, Ken. And here's the pitch to Frank. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out Robinson for out number 1. And Bailey's up now. And Bailey's batting .174 on the year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Rig Stevens. And right field, Rig makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down here in the second. Lonnie Fry batting .263. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Johnny at second. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the top of the third. We got the bottom part of the order due up here for the Cubbies. We got Evers, REULBACH, and then back to the top of the order. And Johnny is batting .182, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Wally Post for out number 1. And here's Big Ed REULBACH. And Ed's 0 for 3. See if he can get something going. That's going to be a slow roller down the short. Roy's got it for out number 2. Back to the top of the order. The man to start this game off with a solo homer, Phil Cavaretta. And here's the pitch to Phil. Can he go back-to-back jacks? And that's going to be a fly ball in the deep center field, but Ed's got room out there and makes the catch. 1-2-3 go to Cubbies. To the bottom of the third we go, and the bottom part of the order due up here for the Reds. McMillan, Walters, and then back to top of the order. And Mac's going to fly out to Kyler in center. 1 up, 1 down. And here comes Buck Walters, leading the National League with the ERA. He is batting .200 on the year. And he has 2 RBIs. We don't need no stinking PH, he says. And we don't, because Walters gets a hold of this one. See how far this ball travels, folks. And that's going to be a double into the gap in right field. And Buck's trying to do it himself here. Down by 1. He's down at second now with 1 out. And the top of the order's up now on Ed Rush is 0 for 1. Grounded out to the first, his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. And all of a sudden, Ed's got himself in trouble with another Ed coming up. Eddie Cass goes up now, first and second. Tyne run down at second. Go ahead, run it first. And Casco grounded out to short his first time up. And that's going to be a nine against a 21. And that's going to be a fly ball in the center field. Kyler makes the catch for out number 2. It's up to Big Clue to do something here. Clue walked his first time up. And that's going to be another base on balls. Ed's got himself in a mess here. Bases loaded for Wally Post. Nowhere to put Wally. 2 outs in the inning. Post flew out to right field his first time up. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And he's going to take it himself. English touches the bag. And that'll end the inning. The Reds leave the bases loaded. That might come back to bite them in the butt. We go to the top of the fourth. It's still a 1-0 ball game. Remember that third inning there. Had a chance to get the lead. We got Stevenson, Wilson, and Kyler due up here. Hey, Beatles. And Riggs is 0 for 1. He's grounded out to short. Check out Beatles channel, folks. And here's the pitch to Riggs. And that's going to be a base hit. Maybe. Let's make sure. 21 on a 10. No, that's going to be a nice play right back up the middle. And Buck makes a nice play. He fires over to first for out number 1. He just stole a base hit away from Riggs. And Hack Wilson's up. Wilson, he flew out to center his first time up. And old Hack, he blasts that ball down the third baseline. That hits the chalk. That's going to be a double for Wilson. He's going to be standing down at second with a 1-out double. He's trying to add to this lead now. And Kiki Kyler's up, and he flew out the left. Hack down there in scoring position for him. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Ed's got it for out number 2. So we'll take a 2-out base hit from Johnny Kling. And Kling is 0 for 1. He did reach on an error his first time up. And he's doing more than that. Kling's going to probably drive in the run out there. Wilson's got good speed. And he's going to do more than just drive in the run. That ball is going to be hit into deep center field. Ed misplayed it. It's rolling around. And Johnny Kling, with his catcher speed, is headed for third. And he's in there. And since Beatles is here for a triple, folks, and it's 2-0 Chicago. A runner down at third now and 2 outs for Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks. Banks struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that's going to be a nice play down there. He's going to fire over to first, Eddie is. And that'll end the inning. But the triple scores 1, makes it 2-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Another great pitching duel here in Cincinnati between REULBACH and Walters. We got Robinson, Bailey, and Fry due up here. Frank is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Ed. He tosses it over to Phil at first, and that'll be out number 1. Ed Bailey's up now. And Bailey's 0 for 1. He flew out to right his first time up. And that's going to be a pop-up, a swing and a miss, rather. He's going to strike out. That's Ed's second strikeout of the game. And that brings up Lonnie Fry. Fry grounded out the second his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field this time. Wilson's got it. 1, 2, 3 goes the Reds. To the top of the fifth we go. And we got English, Evers, and Ed due up here, the bottom part of the order. And as you can see, the Cubbies have struck out 63 times, walked 42, have hit 16 doubles, 8 triples. The Reds have 59 strikeouts, have walked 32 times, 24 doubles, and 4 triples. And here's English up now. He's 0 for 1, grounding into a double play his first time up, but he hits this ball in the right field. Post gets to it on the bounce. He'll hold English to a single. That brings up Johnny Evers. Johnny get out of this slow start here. Johnny's 0 for 1, only batting a .174 on the year. And here's the pitch for Johnny. And he does. He squares this one up, folks. And that ball is hit hard. That ball is hit into the gap in right field. And with English speed, let's see if he's going to try to get the third. Post has got a good arm out there. So a 25 with nobody out. Does he want to take a chance here on a 25 to score? I think he's going to hold up at third with nobody out. Doesn't want to get thrown out at home. That brings up Big Ed. Can Ed deliver here? Second and third and nobody out. And Ed, he grounded out the short his first time up. And being down by 4, the Reds are going to bring the infield in. Doesn't look like Ed REULBACH's giving up many runs. Infield's in. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit down the second. 56 and an 8. That'll be fielding column 2. And with the infield in, they'll look to runners back. Fire down the first. So we still got second and third. And now there's 1 out. And here's the man so far. Phil is homered in this game. He is 1 for 2 and flew out the center, keeping the infield in. And that's going to be a base on balls. That does load them up, but it does give them a force play. Could set up a double play. They'll keep the infield in. See if the Cubbies can bust loose here. They got a 2-0 lead. Riggs Stevens is up. Riggs is 0 for 2. It's grounded out the short and to the mound. Here's the pitch to him. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Let's see here. On a 14. Fly ball on the right. 56. I think English will score with no throw. Yeah, English will score with no throw. Let's see if Johnny tries to get down the third. That'll be the question. With his speed, he might make it down the third with no throw. And he will. So it'll be first and third. And that'll add a run here. Sacrifice fly out the right. And now you got 2 down. Hack Wilson up with runners on the corners. And Hack's 1 for 2. He's doubled and flown out the center. He came around the score when he doubled. Here's the pitch to Wilson. And Mr. Wilson's going to walk, and Buck Waters has got himself in another bases loaded jam here. If they can get out of this mess with only 1 run and a 3-0 deficit, they'll be happy as Buck's struggling here in this 5th inning. Kyler is 0 for 2. He's flown out the left and center. Can Kiki bust this game open? Everywhere you look, there's a Cubby, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Ed in center field. That's going to end it. They do score one on the sacrifice fly, but what could have been? It's 3-0 Chicago as we get to the bottom of the fifth. We got the bottom part of the order due up here. You got Mac due up, Walters, then back to Ed at the top of the order. And McMillan is 0 for 1. He flew out to center his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Ed's got it. He tosses over the field for out number 1. Here comes Bucky Walters up now. And Bucky's 1 for 1 today. He doubled his first time up because we don't need no stinking DH. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Walters is doing his part at the bat. He's getting on. Now there's 1 out and a runner at first for Phil. For Ed rather. Ed is 0 for 1. He's walked and grounded out the first. And that's going to be a tailor-made double play. Hit down to Evers. It's not over to Tinker, but it's over to Banks. And then over to Phil for a 4-6-3 double play. Gets the Cubbies out of that. To the top of the 6th we go. You got Kling due up, followed by Banks and English. Johnny's 1 for 2 with an RBI triple and reached on an error. He's on base every time. Here's the pitch to Johnny. And that's going to be a slow roller down to Mac. He tosses it over to Ted for out number 1. Here comes Master Banks. Ernie's 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out. And we lose a dice here. And that's going to be a fly ball out the post. Out number 2. And now we got some English up. Woody English is 1 for 2. He's grounded out and singled and came around the score. And he gets a hold of this with 2 outs against Walters. And he drives that ball into the gap in right field for a 2-out double. See if Johnny can drive him home now with 2 outs and runner down at second. English has got good speed down there. Johnny's 1 for 2 with a double. And that's going to be a base on balls. Bucky walks him. And now we got runners in first and second. And Ed's up. Can Ed deliver here? He is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Once to short and once to second. Here's the pitch to Ed. And he gets a hold of this one, folks, and drives it. How far is it going to go? Excuse me. That's going to be a single in the left field. English will score with no throw. And Johnny's going to stop at second with 2 outs. So we still got first and second, and we don't need no stinking DH. It's 4-0 Chicago. And back to the top of the order in California. Phil is 1 for 2 with that solo homer. He's flown out and walked. And that's going to be against 18. And that's going to be a fly pop up on the infield. Who's calling for it? Roy calls for it down at short and makes the catch. And that ends it. But another run. Cubbies are getting these solo runs every inning, increasing the lead to 4-0. To the bottom of the 6th we go. The top of the order up. Casco, big clue in post. They got to get something going here against these Cubbies, down by 4 in the 6th inning here. Eddie Casco is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one's out the left. Wilson's got it. And out number 1. And big clues up now. Ted, he's walked twice today. And that's going to be a fly ball. This one out to Kyler. 2 fly balls, 2 outs, 1 to left, 1 to center. Stevens wants a catch here. See if Post obliges and hits one out the right. Post is over 2. He has flown out the right and hit into a force play. And that's going to be a ground ball down to English. 1, 2, 3 goes the Reds. To the top of the 7th we go in a 4-0 ball game. And you got Stevens, Wilson, and Kyler due up here. Riggs is 0 for 2. Does have a sacrifice fly to go with his 2 ground outs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Lonnie Fry. And that'll be out number 1. And Hack Wilson's up now. And Wilson's 1 for 2 with a walk and a double and flown out to center. And that's going to be another walk. Wilson trots on down to first. And that brings up Kiki Kyler. And Kiki's 0 for 3. He's flown out 3 times, twice to center, once to left. And against a 20 and a 9. And that's going to be an infield hit by Kyler. That's a Baltimore chop. He beats it out. So we got first and second again here. And only 1 out. Cubbies have scored in the last 3 innings. 1 run in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Johnny Kling's up. He had an RBI triple. He's reached on an error and grounded out the short his last time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. That fills them up again for the Cubbies. And Ernie Banks up. And again, the Cubbies will bring the infield in. Ernie's 0 for 3. He is struck out, grounded out, and flown out. And that's going to be a big strikeout by Bucky. He strikes out Ernie Banks for out number 2. He can get out of this mess with no run scoring. Here comes Woody English up now, having a good game. He has singled and doubled. Came in to score both times. He's also grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. And that's going to be lifted in the right field. Wally Post has got a measure on it. He's going to make the catch. That's going to take us to the 7th inning stretch where it's 4-0 Chicago. They leave the bases loaded, though. Could have been a chance to blow this game open. So the Cubbies are still in this game. The Reds are still in this game with the Cubbies not taking advantage of some chances here. You got Robinson, Bailey, and Fry. Frank's 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. And that's going to be a base on balls. Frank Robinson walks on down the first. That W is a killer, folks, in Apba. So now you got a runner down at first and nobody out for Ed Bailey. The Reds need his base runners down by 4. Bailey's up. He's 0 for 2, flown out the right and struck out. Cubbies looking for that double play ball. And that is a ground ball down the short. And a 34 and an 8. And that's going to be fielding column 2. And they'll get the batter out at first, but the runner will get in scoring position. So Robinson down at second for Lonnie Fry. And Fry is 0 for 2. He's grounded out the second, flown out the left. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 26 on an 8. And that is going to barely be 26 on an 8. That's barely column number 1. And that's going to be a single in the left. The runner will get the third. So Ernie can't come up with it. It gets by him. And we got first and third. And now the Reds are making some noise here in the top of the 7th. And that brings up McMillan now. And Mac's 0 for 2. He's flown out and grounded out. Here's the pitch to Mac. And he gets a hold of this. And that's going to get the bullpen up for sure for the Cubbies now. And that ball is hit into deep center field. And that is going to score Fry from first. That's a bases clearing double, and that cuts the lead into half. It is now a 4-2 ball game. That brings the tying run up to the plate. That'll be it for Waters. I have a pitch hitter for him. Let's see who's going to come off the bench. And Ed was cruising through 6, running into trouble here in the 7th. And Gus Bell's going to come off the bench. Ring that bell, bell, bell. Ring that bell. Gus Bell going to try to tie this game up for the Big Reds. Where's Gus at? Here's Gus. And Gus is batting .400 on the year. No homers and 1 RBI. Here's the pitch to him. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Riggs makes the catch. That'll be out number 2. And back to the top of the order we go. And Ed Rush. And Ed is 0 for 2. He has walked and grounded out twice. Here's the pitch to Ed. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. He'll take it himself, Phil will, for out number 3. But the 2 RBI double by Mack makes it a 4-2 ball game. See who's going to come out here and pitch. Got the lefty. Maybe a pitch hitter for Ed. He's pitching a decent game. Just gave up those hits there in the 7th. So Ed may try to go the distance. And then another lefty. So looks like the Reds should bring out a lefty to throw. They got 2 lefties in the bullpen. Let's see here who's rested and who's not. Van Meyer and Rexy. Let's see which one here. And they're going to go with Johnny's going to come out of the pen. And Van Meyer, this is his 3rd appearance. No record with a 4.91 ERA. He'll have Evers, Ed, and Phil due up here. Johnny is 1 for 2. He's doubled, flown out, and walked. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll make him a 19. That'll be a fly ball out the post in right field for out number 1. Here comes Ed. He's delivered in this game already. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI. A single drove in a run his last time up. Like I say, we don't need no stinking DH. And against the lefty, that'll be a 12. And there is another base hit. This one drops in the left field. And Frank Robinson can't get to it. So hell with that DH. Ed said, "You even thinking about pinch hitting for me?" But Ed gets the job done, drops that ball in for a hit. And you got the insurance run down at first now. And Phil Cavaretto's up 1 for 3 with that solo homer. He's flown out, popped up, and walked. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And they'll get the lead runner. But Phil beats the throw down the first. So we'll still have a runner at first now with 2 outs. Riggs Stevens is up. And Phil, let's see here, a 2-run game, 22. Make him a 20. And I think old Phil is going to try to steal and get in scoring position here. So that would be a move of 2, and Bailey's arm's a 0, so I'd make it a 20, a 42 or lower, and Phil safe at second, and they throw him out. So Phil gets thrown out trying to steal. That'll end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still a 2-run game. It is 4-2 Cubbies over the Reds. You got Casco, big clue in post due up here. And Ed is 0 for 3. Grounded out, flown out twice to left and to center. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Johnny at second. Over to Phil for out number 1. No, that was going to be a swing and a miss. I'm sorry. Looked at that wrong. That's a strikeout. We'll get it right. Get it right here. That should have been a strikeout for Ed. And now clues up. He's got that Y. Ted's 0 for 1. He's walked twice, flown out the center. And that's going to be a rare play of 37 on a 44. And that's going to be hit in the center field. Kyler's out there patrolling. And that's going to be a nice catch out there by Kyler. Makes a nice running catch, robs a big clue of another hit. Brings up Wally Post now with 2 outs and nobody on. And Wally's 0 for 3. He's flown out, hit into a force play and grounded out to, third. And that's going to be a 22. That's going to be a ground ball down to Johnny. That'll end the inning. 1, 2, 3 goes the Reds. To the top of the 9th we go in a 4-2 ball game. You got Stevens, Wilson, and Kyler due up here. Riggs is 0 for 3. Yes, I got a sacrifice fly and grounded out the second, short, and the pitcher. And that's going to be a base on balls. That'll get the bullpen up. Don't want to give up any more runs, down by 2. And that'll bring up Hack Wilson. He's doubled and walked twice and flown out the center his other time. Came around to score on that double. And that's going to be popped up. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Wilson out. So that's 1 down now. And Kiki Kyler's up now. Kyler is 1 for 4. He has singled and flown out 3 times, twice to center, once to left. And that's going to be a 40. And a wild pitch. Let's see here. The team will be pass ball 3 and a wild pitch. Nope, that'll be a rare play. Rare play. We'll have to re-roll the dice on a 40 with a runner on first. 14 and a 40. That'll be 24. That'll be back to the mound. He's a 1 and a 41 and a 1. And that'll be fielding column 3. That's going to be a single through the box. And Riggs is going to make it down the second and hold there. So a single right up the middle. And the Cubbies now got first and second and 1 out. And I think the Cubbies are going to face a new pitcher here. He got a bunch of righties coming up, 3 righties coming up. So that's going to be it for Johnny. I think Pete Donahue is going to come out of the bullpen here and face these righties. Yep, Pete's going to come out of the bullpen, try to keep this a 2-run game, as Johnny can't make it through the top of this 9th. So this is Pete's 3rd appearance. No record and no ERA. Johnny Kling up to bat. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI triple, first and second, and 1 out for Johnny. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 16. And that's going to be popped up down the short. Roy back there in shallow left field makes the catch for out number 2 rather. And now Mr. Banks is up. Ernie's 0 for 4. He is grounded out, struck out twice, then flown out. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Frank Robinson. So Pete comes in and does his job, holds it to a 2-run lead. We go to the bottom of the ninth. It's 4-2 Cubbies. Ed trying to go the distance. They do have the bullpen up just in case. See if they got a lefty in the bullpen. I don't think they even got a lefty in the bullpen. No, they don't. So they got the Deacon up. Deacon's up and throwing in the bullpen. And you got Robinson, Bailey, and Fry due up here against Ed. Frank's 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out and grounded out to the pitcher. And that's going to be a lazy fly out to Wilson for out number 1. And here's Ed Bailey now. And Bailey's 0 for 3. He's flown out, struck out, and grounded out. And he blasts this one, folks. How far is this one going? That ball is back, and going. It's a 1-run ball game. Ed Bailey turns on this one, hits it down the right field line, makes it fair, and that ball is a no-doubter. Now it's a 4-3 ball game. And Lonnie Fry's up. Can Lonnie keep this game going? See if they're going to pitch hit here for Fry. And they don't have much of a bench, do they? But they are going to bring I say you let Fry hit. Darn, they ain't got much of a bench. Fry's going to hit. Lonnie's going to hit with 1 out and nobody on. He's 1 for 3. He singled his last time up and came around to score. He's grounded out and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Banks. He's up with it, fires over the field for out number 2. And they are going to pitch hit for Mack here. They'll bring a lefty in to pitch hit. Let's see here. Did he even got a shortstop? Let's see. Might not have a shortstop to bring in. Eddie can move over to short. Or Fry. So, yeah, they got some money. They can move people around here. So, Grady's going to come in. Hatton's going to come in here and pitch hit for Mack. Bring in the lefty. Where's Grady at? There he is. So it's 2 outs and nobody on for Grady. He's batting .250 on the year with no homers and no RBIs. Can Grady keep this game alive? And that's going to be against the righty. 21. And that was a 10. And that's going to be a ground ball. Back up the middle. Ed fields it cleanly. Throws it over to first. And that'll end your ball game, folks. And the Reds made the ball game there in the ninth. Let's take a look here at the box score. Another good pitching game. This series, first 2 games have been awesome. That's for sure. Close games. The Cubbies, 4 runs on 10 hits and no errors. The Reds, 3 runs on just 4 hits. They was very productive, wasn't they? You had English going 2 for 4, and Kiki Kyler going 2 for 5. And you had Phil hitting that leadoff homer, made the Cubbies never look back. The Cubbies were 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They had a chance to blow this game open and couldn't get it done. They left 11 men on base, folks. Like I say, if they'd have lost this game, the opportunities they had. Yeah, 2 for 6 was the Reds with runners in scoring position. Bailey and McMillan with solo homers. And Mack, nice game. He had 2 RBIs on the game with that 1 for 3 performance. They were 2 for 6. The Reds were productive, just couldn't get it done. Left only 4 men on base. REULBACH goes to 1 and 2, goes the distance, 4 hits, 3 runs, walked 5, struck out 3, and gave up the homer. Buck Waters goes to 1 and 1, 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, walked 5, struck out 2, and gave up the home run. Van Meyer comes in an inning and a third, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And Pete Donahue comes in, gets the last 2 outs. Take a look now at the standings. Oh, thank you, Ken, buddy. And the leaderboard here in the National League. And Beatles, Pirates, Giants, and Cubs are in first place. And the Braves are a half a game back. The Reds are a game back. And Ken Castro's Phillies are a game and a half back. The Dodgers and Cardinals 2.5 games back. Oh, thank you, Beatles, buddy. And Ed Delaney's leading the league in a 405 batting average. Mays with 7 home runs. Hank Aaron with 17 RBIs. And let's see who's leading in the ERA now. And Amos is leading in the ERA now after Buck in that game with a 1.69 ERA. Kid Nichols still leading with 3 wins and 3 pitchers tied with 2 saves. And Henry Aaron is leading in the MVP voting, and Kid Nichols is leading in the Best Pitcher Award. And since Beatles here, we'll take a look at his Pirates. See what his Pirates are doing here. I know the Pirates are leading the National League in batting there, Beatles. Take a look here at team batting. Yeah, your Pirates are batting .266 with 8 homers, 16 doubles, 11 triples, Beatles. And they're 1 and 1. 1 stolen base and been caught once. They've walked 28 times, struck out 27. So, yeah, the Pirates are doing it as far as the bats are concerned. Take a look now at the individual players on the Pirates and batting. Yeah, your Buckeyes, like I say, they're off to a good start. Let's see here, individual batting. Scroll down here to the Pirates. There's the Phillies. There's the Pirates. Look and see who's leading the team in batting average. And got Archie 500, but he only has 6 at bats. And then you got Ralph Kiner batting .346, Paul Warner batting .324, Hornus Wagner .316, and George Grantham .310. Then it drops down to .267. And look at that. You got Ralph Kiner with 5 home runs. And then you got Clark with 2 and Grantham with 1. Look here at your stolen bases. And the only stolen base is Hornus Wagner. And Beatles likes triples. Look at some triples here. Paul Warner with 4 triples, Beatles. And you got Gusser and Archie Vaughn with 2. Archie's only got 3 hits, 2 of them triples. Clark with a triple. Bill Mazeroski, his only hit's been a triple. And Hornus Wagner with 1 triple. Let's look at the Pirates pitching staff. First, we'll see what the Pirates pitching staff looks like in the league. And let's look at ERA. Pirates ERA is 4.69. They're what, 5th? Yep, 5th in the National League. See how many strikeouts they got. And Pirates are last. Only struck out 19 batters. But they see how many walks the Pirates have got. And the Pirates have only walked 27 batters, though. And they've given up 12 home runs on the year. And let's look at individual pitchers here for them. Okay, let's see who's got the best ERA on the team. That's actually pitched in a few innings here. You got Howie with a 3.6 ERA. That's what's leaving the poor team down, Beatles, is the pitching. Sure. Especially the starting pitcher. And let's look at games started here. You got Sam with a 5 ERA. Babe Adams with a 6.92. Ray with a 4.5. And Rip with a 6.43. So yeah, their pitching's letting them down so far. Imagine if they had their pitching was doing it, they'd really be dominating this National League. Yeah. I didn't want to do it that way. That's all right. And here's a little more in depth in the standings. Shows that they've 5-3 in their last 10 games on a 1-game losing streak. 3-2 at home, 2-1 on the road. And let's see what the record's like against other teams here. And the Pirates are 1-0 against the Cardinals, 2-1 against the stinking Giants, and 2-2 against Ken's Phillies. And let's see here what the next game on the channel. It'll be the final game of this series between the Cubbies and the Reds. Let's see who's pitching in this game. It's going to be Griffith against Hahn. Old Noodles. Noodles going up against old Calvin Griffith. Should be a nice game again. Both of those first 2 games. Yeah, that's not a surprise for the Pirates, is it? Yep, not a surprise. Again, I want to thank Beatles Eternally for tuning in. Check out his great channel, folks. And Ken Castro. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. And on your way out, hit that like button and leave a comment. Until next time, y'all have a great day and y'all take care.